Betrayal and arrest at Gethsemane.
Wow. And we are in Luke 22 and starting in verse 47.
47.
Mhm.
So Jesus was just having a moment.
Yes.
Everybody
Praying.
was put to slumber.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Jesus is like, why is everybody asleep?
Yes. In the garden.
And you know, they're in much less temptation, you would think, of sleeping.
You would think, but he does say, rise and pray lest you enter into temptation.
I don't know. Maybe catch some of those Z's.
You sleep by no.
I think God was trying to send a message there. And while he was still speaking, behold, a multitude. So just a group of people showed up.
Multitude, yeah, it sounds like, but they're
And he who was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them and drew near to Jesus to kiss him. Ooh, so they just showed up and nabbed him.
it's a strategic show up, not like a multitude that's trying to
Yeah, so this is
listen to
just
Jesus. They're
bossy.
yeah, they're coming with a plan.
Mm, a mob.
Well, yes.
But Jesus said to him, Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss? When those around him saw what was going to happen, they said to him, Lord, shall we strike with the sword? Are we going down? Is this going down right now?
Yeah. And we did have a conversation in the last verses that said, bring your sword. So
Right.
in a way, I can see where they said that.
Right. That's where they would. Does Jesus not mean it more in like your tongue
Maybe, yeah, because
than the sword? Because
he
I mean, do they not? Is this not where somebody's ear gets cut off?
yeah, when you read the next one.
So, I mean, somebody didn't listen.
Right.
And
So
somebody else didn't listen for this to exist, right? Judas, you know?
right. So there's
I
a
don't
lot
know. People not listening.
I know.
Uh,
Verse 50.
and one of them, 50, right?
Yeah.
So this is after they asked him. This is going down.
Yeah, Lord, shall we strike him with the sword? Yes. It sounds
And
like
one of
it's
them, and one of them struck the servant on the high priest and cut off his right ear. Went straight for the priest. But
say again.
Jesus,
Oh yeah.
he said, went straight for the priest.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jesus answered and said, permit even this. And he touched his ear and healed him. Oh,
Mm.
he said, sorry. They
And
didn't listen.
I know. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? What a
And
testimony.
Jesus said to the chief priests, captains of the temple, and the elders who had come to him, have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs? When I was with you daily in the temple, did you not try to seize me? Or you did not try to seize me? But this is your hour and the power of darkness.
Mm,
Bad influence.
I know. But at least, well, I mean, not at least, but in verse 52, we get an idea of who the crowd were, right? Chief priests, captains of the temple, and the elders who had come.
Right, but they were all afraid of the
Yes,
people,
they were.
right? So
They
they had
were
to do this.
afraid of the people. You're right.
So they had to do that. Well,
The sneaky way.
isn't that part of Peter's denial, right? Is this not like the creation of a conspiracy, technically, in the eyes of like the Pharisees? It's not like Jesus's conspiracy, right? His story. But like in the eyes of the Pharisee, I mean, right? They were afraid of the people.
They were afraid of people. Yes, correct. Correct. Yes, they were. So they were coming in the hour of darkness. And maybe
Right.
that's what gave them the power, right? But in their eyes, they were right.
Hmm. But that would give Peter a reason to lie.
Because of the fear, too.
Well, at the end of the day, right?
He's human.
Right.
I'm not
But
sure.
then again, I mean, I mean, with how some people publicly react to some people, like you never know, right? People are gonna like you regardless of what you do, but people are also gonna not like you regardless of what you do.
Right, right. It's true.
So,
It is true. You just have to please God and then
right.
yes.
Who knows?
I
I
know.
think like, well, because sometimes when the mark of the beast is talked about, right?
In Revelation, yes.
Yeah. Like taking the mark of the beast would almost be like Peter denying Jesus, right?
Well, it's kind of the same. You're right. That's very true. That is
So,
very true, especially if you know. I mean, if you didn't know, but if you know, like Peter knew,
right.
then it.
Because like regardless of like of the circumstance, right? That's what's being asked, is that death even is on the table. It's most likely guaranteed.
Right.
I mean, it's guaranteed regardless, but maybe not because of that, you know?
Yeah. No, I understand, and that's a scary place to be, isn't it?
What should be a good
Wow.
place to be, right?
But it should be a
You
good
should
place
have
to be.
God at your back, things should
Yeah.
be good, you don't, there's
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes. If you know that you're doing it for God, yes, you're right. That's true. Wow. Thank
So
you.
let's talk about Peter denying Jesus now.
Is that what's coming up? All right.
Mm. Having arrested him, they led him and brought him into the high priest's house. That's wild.
I mean,
Not
this
to
is.
like a prison. No, like official building. We're gonna keep this off the books. This is
Right.
sounding like a CIA operative.
I mean, it is the middle of the night too, so I'm not really sure. But I see what you're saying. It does seem a little shady. Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
But let's see. Let's.
But Peter followed at a distance. Hmm. Now, when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter sat among them. And a certain servant girl, seeing him as he sat by the fire, looked intently at him and said, "This man was also with him." But he denied him, saying, "Oh, he denied Jesus,
Yeah.
saying, 'Woman, I do not know him.' And after a little while, another saw him and said, 'You also are of them.' But Peter said, 'Man, I am not.' Then there about an hour had passed. Another confidently affirmed, saying, 'Surely this fellow was also with him, for he is a Galilean.' But Peter said, 'Man, I do not know what you are saying.' Immediately, while he was still speaking, the rooster crowed.
Oh no.
And we now have a flashback to what verse, Mother?
Exactly. What verse do we have a flashback to? This is a very good question. Um, I think we have a flashback to 34. 34 in the same chapter. I tell then Jesus said, I tell you, Peter, the rooster shall not crow this day before you deny 3 times that you know me.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
So Peter's dots are now all connected.
Exactly.
And so
Oh
Peter
no.
went out and whipped bitterly. He whipped bitterly.
Yeah. And 61, right? Did you read that?
Oh yeah, no, I'd say just skip that. And the Lord turned and looked at Peter. Oh, right, because he was
Oh,
there. Then Peter remembered the word of the Lord, and he had said to him, "Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times." So Peter went out and wept bitterly.
wow. That'd be so humbling and sad. You're like, oh no, I did just what he said.
Right.
It
He was right
denied him.
there. He
I
didn't say,
was, I was so confidently I wouldn't, right? Because Peter had said to him before that in verse 33, but he said to him, to God, Lord, I am ready to go with you, both to prison and to death. And then
And what do
Jesus,
you think they said after he left? They were like, yeah, he was definitely one of them.
because they see the exchange and the running away and all that. But they didn't run after him or anything.
Again, why would they? At the end of the day, right? They wanted Jesus. They weren't gonna.
Yeah, right. But this had to take place for the other part and
Right,
maybe
but they
for us.
showed up with a group of people, and there was another group of people, all apostles, that could have been taken then.
Oh, he could have taken them all then, but they just took Jesus. You're right.
I mean, I'm sure if he genuinely made a little stir up and tried to maybe like help him escape or something like that,
Yeah,
then maybe.
right.
But
Mm,
you know, not
wow.
everybody has to die. You're not gonna die just because you speak up.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes. I mean, read the room, right?
You're right. Oh, wow.
But
Now,
yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? I think of this and I'm like, we should build upon this and be like, we shouldn't deny him in the first place,
right. And it is
regardless of
in,
the situation.
a lot of the Gospels. I don't know if it's in every one, but it's obviously important to be in here.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll find some peace.
Yes.